Hi, my name is Ethan Healy. I am a senior at Utah State studying aviation management. I live in North Ogden and I'm mostly doing online classes right now. I like to ski, I like to mountain bike, skateboard. Um, yeah, this chart just about gave me an aneurysm. It is definitely a lot, and it is way more complicated than I originally thought. But breaking it down into smaller categories like consumers, um, technology, science, political governance, and looking at it that way kind of helped me understand a little bit better. I am definitely a consumer. Um, I don't have any sort of impact on like production, processing, or distribution. Um, and the way I kind of looked at this was, going from where I am as a consumer and sort of backtracking to seeing where my food comes and how it reaches my table. And I thought it was interesting looking at like the consumption patterns in food preparation and also the public perceptions, and going into marketing and intelligence and how that tracks back to political governance, and just going into the different things that affect your preferences, like values, beliefs, knowledge, information, and then everything that feeds into that, like labeling, media, education, training, and social networks. It's crazy because even just this tiny little section of this huge process is just super intricate, and then you could break each of these down so much further. Makes me excited to learn a bit more about this. One recent event, this is kind of a basic one, but I chose to talk about COVID. I found this study super long. I did not read the entire thing, but I skimmed through it and I found it interesting, mainly just talking about how different countries handled the COVID-19 pandemic and some successful and not successful outcomes. It talked about the concerns that have risen from it, such as just issues with processing, distribution, and demand. Talks about closure of food production facilities, restricted food trade facilities, changes in financial aspect of the food chain, and ultimately how that all affects the consumer. It seems like the biggest impact that COVID-19 had on the food chain was the closure of facilities and food trade or food production facilities due to the lack of labor and just health concerns. And it's still something I'm sure all of you know that we are dealing with today. Can hardly go to the grocery store and not spend $50 for a meal. But this was super interesting. If any of you guys would like to read it, it is Oxford Academic Impact of COVID-19 on the Food Chain, or Food Supply Chain. Thank you.